the only way, in many ways, that we survived was to be able to laugh. Because if we didn't laugh, we would be crying all the time. So sometimes when they had an election, they would say, "Do you want your daughter to marry this man?" And they would show a disheveled black man. And our people used to get their own back by saying, "Show us your daughter first." But there was the so-called anti-apartheid movement. Had it been entirely international, it would not have accomplished what it did. Had it been entirely local, it would not have accomplished what it did. It was because there was this incredible, it was extraordinary. It really was fantastic. It was so incredible that, even with one of the most popular presidents who was opposed to sanctions, we could appeal over his head. I remember going to the United States to universities and college campuses at a time when students ought to have been worrying about grades and degrees, and they were doing nothing of the sort. They were sitting out in the baking sun. I remember going to Berkeley, and there they were sitting out in the baking sun in California. Doing what? Demonstrating on our behalf. And the consequence of that was Congress not only passed the legislation, the anti-apartheid legislation, but could muster a presidential veto override as well. And because of that collaboration, the anti-apartheid movement was spread all over the globe. Because of that collaboration, 1990 happened when Nelson Mandela walked out of prison. 1994 happened when we could vote for the first time. I voted for the first time when I was 63 years of age. But it happened. The victory occurred because of this collaboration. And therefore, nothing can ever again be said to be intractable, invincible. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was sitting with some lovely people in a restaurant in New York, and the woman was saying to me, referring to what had happened here, she said, "You know what? Anything that has happened is possible." Isn't that a wonderful expression? That really is, that's very clever. I wish I had invented it. Anything that has happened is possible. Well, if it happened in South Africa, then it can happen anywhere in the world. And you helped for us to be where we are in this country. And I want to say thank you. And I want to clap you. Now, if I did it all by myself, they would say, "We always thought you was a crazy." Because most of you are not South Africans. I actually do have a magic wand which you can't see because it is magic. And when I wave it over you, as I'm going to do just now, it turns you into instant South Africans, So I wave it over you, and I say, fellow South Africans, let us give these Americans, all of these people all over the world who supported our struggle against the injustice of apartheid. Let's give them a real humdinger. Eh? No, man, no. No. Do you want to tell me that if somebody removed the shackles from your wrists and from your ankles, and you had a chance to show your appreciation, you say, now let's try and be a little, slightly, put a little more oomph in it. Come on, yes. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's slightly more like it. And let me wave it over you again, and you revert to your former shy self. Do you know something too? We've seen collaboration at work in another extraordinary occurrence. In 2003, it was clear that America was going to invade Iraq. Many people, actually, I was moved to tears because I was in New York. I was asked to address the number of people who came out to say no to war, give peace a chance. But you recall too how they showed people starting from the east, the wave upon wave upon wave of, I would say, millions of human beings who were opposed to the war until they stopped in New York or in America because they continued. It didn't stop the invasion. Now, some people will say it failed. I want to give you one little thing that you should take away from this address, and it is this: nothing is lost. You know, you and I are sitting here, and we're sitting here, and an Aung San Suu Kyi in Rangoon is entering her 13th year under house arrest. Look, she has failed.